That brings us to the third group, the South Slavic languages. Slovene was the first Slavic language that I studied. It all began when I met a fellow backpacker from Slovenia while in Bolivia in 1976, and we traveled together. However, later in 1977, I switched to Serbo-Croatian when I rode a bicycle along the coast of the former Yugoslavia for 3 months. The issue of language versus dialect has been a persistent issue related to nationalism in the former Yugoslavia and Bulgaria. The concept of Serbo-Croatian as one language was an essential aspect of promoting unity in the former Yugoslavia. However, the process of linguistic standardization of Serbo-Croatian was originally initiated in the mid-19th century Vienna Literary Agreement by Croatian and Serbian writers and philologists decades before a Yugoslav state was established. Most people knowledgeable about the linguistic situation in the territory defined by the former Yugoslavia acknowledge the existence of 3 languages: Slovenian, BCMS, and Macedonian. BCMS is a pluricentric language with 4 mutually intelligible standard varieties: Bosnian, Croatian, Montenegrin, and Serbian. A pluricentric or polycentric language is a language with several interacting codified standard forms. Nevertheless, some people, often with nationalistic intent, insist that BCMS represents at least 2, if not 4, separate languages. In recent years, separate textbooks have been available for Serbian and Croatian, as well as grammar books entitled Bosnian, Croatian, and Serbian. You probably won't find individual textbooks for Bosnian, but I found a phrase book for Montenegrin. I have used BCMS textbooks to increase my understanding of the 4 varieties of the language. During a recent trip to Bosnia-Herzegovina, Croatia, Serbia, and Montenegro, I challenged myself to adjust my speech to what I heard in conversations. But it is more complicated than it appears from my explanation so far. There are many dialects. For example, in Croatian, there is Slovakian, Čakavian, and Kajkavian dialects. The names indicate the 3 different words used for the word what in each dialect: Što, Ča, Kaj. Slovakian is the prestige dialect of the pluricentric Serbo-Croatian language and the basis of Serbian, Croatian, Bosnian, and Montenegrin. A further complicating factor is that Macedonian is still widely regarded as a dialect by Bulgarian scholars, historians, and politicians. They deny the existence of a separate Macedonian language and declare it a written regional form of Bulgarian. If they are one language, then modern Bulgarian is based on the Eastern dialect. At the same time, modern Macedonian is based on the Western dialect spoken around the city of Debar in today's North Macedonia. The distinguishing characteristics of Macedonian Bulgarian are that they don't have grammatical cases and do have definite articles. On the other hand, all the other Slavic languages have 7 grammatical cases, or 6 in the case of Russian, Ukrainian, Belarusian, which lack the vocative case. I will have to leave a detailed discussion of grammatical cases for another video, since it's very involved and not easy to grasp unless you know another language with grammatical cases, such as Latin or German, but German only has 4 cases. Thus, the South Slavic languages can be said to consist of 3 to 7 languages.
Tega ni zdaj tako enostavno pride do te robe, ne?
Ja, vsekakor. Je tudi velik logističen zalogaj, ne? Vemo, kako je tudi sam DHL na naše novinarsko vprašanje pred časom dejal, da se sicer trudijo, da je vsaka dobava neke opreme za neke druge države prej
Rješavanje stambenog pitanja jedan je od imperativa svake mlade obitelji, a kako bi zaustavili iseljavanje i potaknuli mlade da ostanu, u Vukovarsko-srijemskoj županiji pokrenuli su projekt dodjele bespovratnih sredstava za kupnju kuće ili stana.
Je postalo opasno mjesto. Ali kako to znamo? Tako što u medijima vidimo i gledamo događaje koji se dešavaju diljem svijeta. Kako takve informacije i slike sa mjesta događaja dođu do vas? Odgovor je jednostavan. Medijski radnici.
Vodiči. Izložba donosi priču o sudbini Ane Frank i možete pogledati u Domu omladine do 8. maja. A svi oni koji vole nakit u Etnografskom muzeju u Beogradu mogu pogledati izložbu prstenja pod nazivom Bez početka i kraja sa reprezentativnim primjercima nakita iz antičke.
Изливане на бетона на метри от морето и започнали нови строежи веднага след края на туристическия сезон. Това предизвика възмущение в социалните мрежи. Граждани публикуваха снимки и клипове с изграждането на поредните ваканционни постройки и то само...
Веќе 7 часа, вклучително и 2 паузи, во собранието трае расправата за законот за јавно обвинителство. По тензичниот почеток седницата доби извесен тек, но доминираат довикувања одместо, процедурални забелешки, реплики и контраобвинувања.
So, what should be the first Slavic language from the South group that you should learn? It would be best to use a textbook for Serbo-Croatian, even though no one speaks exactly like what it teaches. Otherwise, you study Croatian or Serbian. So the most powerful combination of 3 Slavic languages is Russian, Polish, and Serbo-Croatian. For the 4th language, I would suggest Bulgarian, since that will help you understand Macedonian. And for the 5th, Slovene, because Serbo-Croatian is not enough to help you have a good understanding of the language. If you want to continue to your 6th Slavic language, I recommend learning Slovak, since it helps you with Czech and Lucene. In addition, it is more or less in the center of all Slavic languages. In summary, the number of Slavic languages still in use ranges from 11 to 19. So far, I have studied 10 of them. Listed chronologically, Slovene, Serbo-Croatian or BCMS, Russian, Polish, Slovak, Czech, Ukrainian, Bulgarian, Belarusian, and Macedonian. My most robust 4 are Polish, Russian, BCMS, and Slovak, mainly due to how much time I have spent speaking the languages. I have spent the least amount of time speaking and reading Macedonian. Though I have yet to study the remaining Slavic languages discussed here, I understand them quite well in their spoken and written forms. If you have listened to this point, then you must be very motivated to learn a Slavic language or add to ones you already know. All the best to you. Enjoy your journey through one of the world's leading language families and cultural clusters. See you in the next video.